what's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Driller, and welcome everyone to National Wrestling Alliance Review, where it pertains to NWA Powerrr results from November 19th, 2019. And they were at the GPB Studios in Atlanta, Georgia, with your commentators Joe Galli and Jim Cornette. So let's get right to it. We got David Marquez, welcome everyone to NWA Powerrr, and then he introduces the NWA World's Heavyweight Champion, Nick Aldis, who is the National Treasure. And he's out there without Camille, and basically it was basically what pertains to the whole thing with Camille about their relationship and everything, and also with Nick Aldis talking about his opponent, where it pertains to who's in the ring, Trevor Murdoch, and basically what pertains to the NWA and the NWA World Championship, and talking about how he's going to be a fighting champion and all that, and he's going to have an exhibition match with Trevor Murdoch. And he says he's not saying he's not deserving of the title yet, but he's just saying that if he that he could eventually be a challenger of the title if he could beat him in this exhibition match that has nothing to do with the NWA World Championship title being on the line. So so we get to this match here with Nick Aldis versus Trevor Murdoch, with Nick Aldis going over with of winning this match. Now, here's the thing with this match too. The match was good. It was a good match. That's not why I want to talk about this match. It was about the controversy that happened during this match. Now, I didn't watch NWA Powerrr live during that time, but I heard about the commotions. I heard about what pertains to someone being trending worldwide on Twitter, what pertains to NWA Powerrr, and Jim Cornette. Jim Cornette on commentary said to Trevor, what pertains to Trevor Murdoch, the lines of, Trevor Murdoch is the only guy that could strap a bucket of fried chicken on his back and ride a scooter or something like that to Ethiopia. Basically describing how tough he can be. And this is the thing with Jim Cornette. He talked about this on commentary before, in the past. And it was basically a starvation type of joke. And I didn't have a problem with that when I first heard about it. And I say to myself, people were saying that, that was racist and everything because, obviously we don't know about the whole thing with Ethiopia, But I didn't find it being offensive. I didn't find it to be racist and all that because Jim Cornette explained it on his podcast that it was not meant to be a racist joke. It was meant to be a starving joke. So it was represents the whole starving Marvin from South Park and all that. At the same time, too, Jim Cornette should have known not to be saying something like that, especially during this time, where people are social justice warriors and PC and all that. You can't be saying those type of things anymore nowadays. At the same time, NWA gets the fault of this too, because I don't remember the name that Jim Cornette mentioned that pertains to because this was obviously taped, edited, edited show basically. I meant to say, a taped show. So why NWA didn't pick this up, during that time, I have no idea. It was their fault on their part too. But at the same time, Jim Cornette should have known not to say something like that. Anyways, even though we know Jim Cornette has said some of the things as well, but. And obviously, this gave NWA a lot of attention, but not the type of attention that they needed, because of Jim Cornette. And because of this, Jim Cornette is no longer with NWA. He's now gone, and moving forward, it ends up being an awkward show to say the way for NWA Powerrr moving forward. And hopefully by the end of of Jim Cornette no longer be on NWA Powerrr. And we're since being part of National Wrestling Alliance moving forward, that hopefully that doesn't, that type of controversy doesn't ever happen ever again in NWA ever again. It's a damn shame, you know. So, but there you go. The Rock and Roll Express and the Wild Card segment. So David Marquez, you know, he introduced the Rock and Roll Express. All of a sudden, we got the Wild Cards coming out, and basically it pertains, basically go back and forth and everything. And it's a funny comment there from Latimer, telling the Rock and Roll Express they can kiss his ass. So basically back and forth between the two teams, and this will lead to a match later on. We'll get to that. We'll get to that once we get that review of it. Then we get to Ricky Starks versus the Question Mark. Match happens, and Coco Band was on commentary. All of a sudden, while the match is going on, the match ends in a no contest. But I'm saying, wait a minute, how's it going to end in a no contest? Because based on who in the funeral match, Ricky Starks was attacked by Aaron Stevens, and I'm saying, wait a minute, I thought he quit. So it was all a ruse. A ruse. He didn't really quit. It was just some sort of a trap to get to Ricky Starks. So he attacks Ricky Starks, and I was saying to myself, that should be a disqualification. But instead, they rule it a no count out because they can't afford the Question Mark to lose. But even though he would still be protected in the loss, because I don't know, it was weird. But Coco Man ends up coming for the save, and then the match was made later on for Aaron Stevens and the Question Mark. Those two are now being paired as a team to go up against Ricky Starks and Colt Cabana. We'll get to that later. Then we get to Eli Drake being interviewed with Joe Galley. And basically, Eli Drake, he says something about Ken Anderson. He basically talks on the subject of Ken Anderson, and then he gets distracted by by the question mark chants, and basically Mr. Anderson comes out. He basically wants to fight Eli Drake in the match here. So Drake was going to accept it, and then Anderson's going to the ring. All of a sudden, Drake pushes him, into the turnbuckle, beats him up and everything. I mean, the ring post is meant to say. And then also he gets the turnbuckle hook, and hits Mr. Anderson from behind with it. And that was on the end of that segment. So that's going to lead to a program between Eli Drake and Mr. Anderson down the line. Then we get to Allison Kay and Ashley Vox versus Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell. Match ends up happening. Ends up being pretty good. All of a sudden, from the crowd, we get Molina. Molina, who used to be in WWE, former manager or valet in a way of Eminem, with Johnny Nitro and Joey Mercury. But yeah, Molina's now part of NWA, and she comes out, and you're wondering who she with, and then it revealed, obviously, she was being with Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell, and this whole thing with Molina coming out led to a distraction where Molina distraction led to Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell winning the match against Allison Kay and Ashley Vox. After the match, Allison Kay got beat up by Marty Bell and Thunder Rosa as Molina gets in the ring, as they stand over Thunder Rosa, Molina, and Marty Bell stands over on Allison Kay, who's lay knocked out, and Ashley Vox lay outside the ring. And that was basically in the end of that one. So now we got Molina signing along with Thunder Rosa and Marty Bell. I love the pairing of Thunder Rosa, Marty Bell, and Molina. Then we get to Colt Cabana and Ricky Starks versus Aaron Stevens and the Question Mark. So Aaron Stevens and the Question Mark are like the stunt double gimmicks of WWE, where it pertains to The Miz and Damien Mizdow at the time, where The Miz will do this, and the crowds will boo The Miz, and then Damien Mizdow will do this, and then the crowds will cheer, "Yay!" Same thing with this one, Aaron Stevens, and the question mark. Except it's the other way around now. Aaron Stevens, or whenever he does this, boo. The question mark, he does this, yay. And we still don't know who the question mark is, folks. We still don't know who on the identity of who the question mark is under that mask. But the match happens. Ends up being a pretty decent match with Aaron Stevens and the question mark winning the match. Obviously, Aaron Stevens picked up the win because the question mark did the work to Ricky Starks, and Aaron Stevens wanted to tag in, so Aaron Stevens could steal the spotlight because it's all about him, not about anyone else. The spotlight should be on top of Aaron Stevens instead of the question mark, despite the fans, being in favor of the question mark. So there you go. James Storm comes out, and he's sick and tired of Nick Aldis talking about he's a fine champion and all that. He's getting sick and tired of Coco Cabana. He's getting sick and tired of everything else that's not being surrounded about James Storm. Also, Camille comes out, and she whispered in the ears of James Storm, and we're all disappointed because we thought Camille was going to talk. And then also Camille walks away, and then James Storm says to David Marquez, who's interviewing him, and then James Storm said to him, "Sorry about your damn luck." So there you go, and that was basically the end of that. So this episode of NWA Powerrr, despite the whole Jim Cornette debacle, that whole controversy, Nick Aldis talks about Trevor Murdoch, what pertains to him, come back into professional wrestling, basically what pertains to the Phoenix Rise, and then what pertains to Melina, what pertains to her coming back to professional wrestling to be part of NWA, where the Phoenix Rise, in her point of view as well, what pertains to revamp her wrestling career in women's wrestling. And then you guys like Eli Drake and Mr. Anderson coming from Impact Wrestling and to NWA, where their ways of where the Phoenix Rise is, the Phoenix Rise, And then you got James Storm, where he wants to also the Phoenix, his own way of the Phoenix Rise as well, where he wants to get back it should be about him being the guy, and the guy he needs to be, and then also to a degree, I guess in a way Aaron Stevens, because he's coming back into professional wrestling, but also he wants to also pursue acting as well. Basically where the Phoenix rises to the top in a way for all these wrestlers that were afterthoughts from that other company, WWE, and now and also other companies as well. And not just say WWE, but also with Impact Wrestling and other promotions as well that's not treating these wrestlers right. And for NWA, it's the perfect platform, the perfect opportunity for them to be part of it, because they are the Phoenix that feel like that they need to be to rise up back to the to what they need to be, and to get that recognition, to be get back onto that platform that they roughly needed the attention and roughly so to be deserving in a way. So there you go. Oh, hold on a second, folks. It's just one of those things again. My apologies. Gotta check, see what's going on here. Okay. So yeah, that's basically what the gist of it what pertains to this episode of Impact. Not Impact. NWA Powerrr. All these wrestlers, doesn't matter if it's male or female wrestlers. Still, either way, the Phoenix rises within them. So yeah, that's there was 4 matches. Let me see. Let me just double check. Yeah, 4 matches. For NWA Powerrr from November 19th, 2019 for this National Wrestling Alliance review. So I'm gonna go with a 7.5 out of 10 as well for this one. I can't remember if that was the last one I did as well from my last review of it, but either way. But there you go. So that being said, folks, thank you all for watching. For It's the Natural Born Driller, saying peace on the streets. This was your NWA Powerrr results from November 19th, 2019. Until next time, for this NWA, for this National Wrestling Alliance review. And there you go. I'm out.